Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. You know that in my place they say, when you blame an elder for pushing a child out of the house, a situation that made the child to disappear, from the radar, you will also blame the child for provoking the parents. This is exactly what has happened. As they said that Ebony was in tears as elders forced a sacred confession behind closed door. Now, nobody knows what she said to them, but they had to bring her, to a very small space with a few elders to speak because the whole thing was, they said the great lion was still insistent. You know that they might sit down and they might decide now that, okay, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. But it bewills on the great lion to decide what he wants to do because they can't force him. For now, he is the great lion, and that is what it is, okay? The great lion kept quiet and was very unhappy. They knew he was very unhappy. Now, if they make that man to go and release Ogunjaye again, their eye go clear. Anyways, they said they had to bring Ebony. They forced a confession from Ebony because at some point they wanted to know the true situation. Are you saying the truth or not? You know that. Now, it's as simple as going to any hospital to go and check if a woman is pregnant or not, or using the pregnancy stuff between him and the great lion and all of that. But the great lion does not want to do that. The great lion knows something that we do not know. And that was why he insisted that he was going to use the ancient sword. They said the palace was on fire with whisper, not the kind that fade, but the kind that burns slowly and leaves ashes. Ebony, who had stood, tough for weeks, suddenly found herself cornered not just by the great lion sternness, but by the sharp eyes of the elders. The Iware Fa, joined by the Obalufe, decided enough was enough. They had shielded her from the humiliation of swearing before the ancient sword, but they also needed the truth, and so they called her in, not before the throne, not in the open courtyard, but behind closed doors, where only the weight of ancestral authority sat in the air. Yes, that was what happened. If the information we are getting is correct, they say she walked into the chamber trembling. Her tears had already started before a single word was spoken. The elders looked at her face. Their face is stained, their voice is heavy. One of them said, Ebony, this is not a place for games. The throne has been patient with you. The king has been merciful, but you have played with fire for too long. Tonight you will speak the truth and you will confess your misbehavior because the land cannot continue in this confusion. They said she sobbed, grew louder, she fell on her knee, her wrapper loosened as she shook uncontrollably. Forgive me, fathers, she cried. Forgive me, mothers. I never wanted to disgrace anyone, but the elders did not soften. They pressed her harder, asking her if she was truly carrying a child, asking her why she had challenged the great lion, asking her why she thought she could stand above the law of the palace. That was when the hidden hand behind her arrogance was revealed. Her uncle, one of the minor elders who had long carried himself with influence, was unmasked. He had been whispering into Ebony's ears for months, telling her that the great lion could never throw her out, that her bloodline was too important, that as a daughter of the Ogidi, she was untouchable. He told her that the throne was in debt to their family, that her position was secured, and that she could do as she pleases. It was the poison that made her bold, this false confidence that made her drag her feet whenever, the great lion spoke. Right there in that meeting, that man was unmasked. Because of certain things that she said, sitting in front of this elder, she had to come clean to say a lot. But at this point, We don't even know what she said about the pregnancy. If the information we got is correct, we do not know. They said the Iwarifa were furious. They turned their wrath on the uncle because he was right there declaring that he had not only misled Ebony but had insulted the entire council by planting rebellion in the palace. They suspended him immediately from the council and elders, okay, stripping him of the respect and privileges he had enjoyed. The Obalufe's voice was final. Any elder who uses his influence to spoil a daughter of the palace is an enemy of the stool. He has turned her into a tool of disrespect, and for that, he cannot sit with us again. They made it very clear to her. They said Ebony wept harder when she heard this. The same uncle who had encouraged her, who had told her she was untouchable, now abandoned her, disgraced and pushed aside. The elders told her, you see now, you thought you were bigger than this too because of his word. But look at him, cast away. If we can cast him away, do you think you are above discipline? They said the lion is your husband. Yes. But he is also your king. When you misbehave, you disgrace not just him, but the entire family. They said she was visibly shaken. Ebony admitted her fault. She confessed that she had allowed pride to control her and that she had been influenced into thinking she could use her family's political weight to protect herself. She admitted she spoke harshly in moments she should have been humble. She begged for mercy. She begged that, Kabiesi would not throw her out in shame. She cried so deeply that even some elders who had been unmoved before began to pity her, but they still kept their faces hard. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Dela Ram. I bring you fresh and spicy gist from the South, still on the royals. Happy New Week to you. May God bless you. May God make his face shine upon you. May your desires all come to pass in your life in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you for being here. They said Iwarife told her, confession is the first step, but you must change. You must respect this to respect the jewel, respect the other wife. This palace cannot burn every day because of your behavior. If you continue, even your bloodline will not save you. Ebony nodded desperately, still on her knees, swearing she would change, swearing she would not give the great lion reason to doubt her again, but the damage has already been done. Now, the question a lot of people were asking is, did she confess that she is expecting or she is not? Because that was what caused this problem. The problem spiral from where it was to where it is right now because she kept insisting she was expecting a baby. And the great lion was upset because she had used that narrative to cause problems between the Jewel family and himself. But the bigger tension was not Ebony's tears. It's the fact that an elder, a member of the council, had been suspended for influencing her. That revelation shook the entire palace structure. If one elder could be accused of misleading a wife, how many others were quietly sowing discord? The great lion would surely demand answers. The balance of power inside the palace had shifted and everyone knew the storm. Ebony left that chamber drenched in tears. Her pride cut down, her uncle's disgrace, her position shaky, but she is still in the palace. She had not been thrown out, not yet, and nobody knows if that would even happen because right now nobody knows her situation. She cannot be thrown out if she is expecting a baby. This is what is going on. If the information we are getting is correct, I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and shouldn't be seen as fact.